Hi, I'm Hannah and I'm an integrative change coach. What that means is I use a bunch of modalities that are usually grounded in practical neuroscience to help people change their brain and their relationships with themselves and other people in their life, both people they want in their life and also people they have to deal with or come across, and also stuff like their possessions, their choices, and money. Today I just wanted to record a wee bonus video about tapping and some frequently asked questions that I get about it, just so that it adds some context to these mini videos we've been doing. So I want to say, a lot of people ask me, what hand do you have to use? And I just want to say whatever's comfortable for you. I tend to use my right hand just because I'm right-handed, but I grab my left wrist. It really doesn't matter. You can use either side, and you can also alternate if that feels good for you. And there is some suggestion that when you alternate, you also alternate your brain hemispheres, and that can have an additional calming effect, but it's definitely not essential. Another question that I get asked a lot is, why does it work? And I love the critical thinking in this question, and also sometimes this can get in the way of us accessing things that are useful. So I want to first temper this response by inviting you to think, does it matter? Like, if you didn't know why it works but it just works for you, isn't that enough? So I encourage you to try it. Like, really, truly try it and just see what happens. And if you still need a little convincing, I use the word tapping, but this is also a modality called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique, and it comes from a field of psychology called energy psychology. And it involves different pressure points in the system to help sort of shift energy. And because I'm a neuroscience nerd, I like to think of this as a way of changing your brain chemistry. So when we tap on certain points in your body, we're sort of activating different kinds of interoception. When we're talking and thinking about things, we're changing which parts of the brain are firing. And that all alters the way that our brain is used to relating to a particular issue, which creates a sort of confusion and ultimately a change. It's also really calming for the vagus nerve and the central nervous system as we do this. And you can kind of see evidence of this when people get frustrated. A really common thing that they do is and they just put their hands on they just sink their face into their hands, and they're touching a lot of those points that we tap on, right? So you probably already do an element of this without thinking about it unconsciously, and we're just trying to consciously anchor into those systems to support us intentionally around things, rather than doing the sort of intuitive piece and then waiting for time to play out that dissociation that we need when we're feeling emotions we don't want to feel. We need to step back from them and feel differently, feel neutral, before we can choose how we want to feel instead. So that is a part of how it works and why it works. And I would also say that because this has been studied, that it has to have better results than the placebo effect. So it's not enough just to say affirmations to yourself that you don't really believe. We all know that that doesn't create results. And when we're tapping, it's not about trying to convince ourselves of something that's not true. At least the way I do it, it's often about acknowledging what's going on and creating a little bit of openness, a little bit of willingness to see things differently, so that we can start to settle into that calm feeling, or that way we want to be instead. So, why it works, what it is, whether it matters if you do it either side. Oh yeah, for sleep. Now we will do a video specifically on sleep, but it's quite common that people are like, I was tapping and it didn't help me when I was anxious and tired. And so in that case, what I want you to consider, if you're wanting to release for sleep, is one, really slowing down. So not tapping like this, but like very slow tapping. Allowing everything to slow down. My breathing to slow. My thoughts to slow, so I can sleep. Yeah? I think about really feeling what that feels like, really paying attention to the pressure of your fingers on your skin, the temperature on your skin, being intentional with slowing down your words, slowing down your thoughts, and maybe even starting to internalize some of those things. So instead of talking out loud, maybe thinking the things, and eventually slowing down and just kind of imagining the tapping. That is the variation for sleep, and we will do something more detailed on this, but I just wanted to answer some of those questions. If you have more questions for me about tapping or any of the other techniques that I talk about, or if you would like to work more with me, you can follow me on Instagram at handfits.creates, or you can pop some comments below and I will get back to you. Thanks.